Playmaker time. Okay, deep lying playmaker. The game lets you know what's cooking. He's going to sit in between defence and midfield, initiating attacking moves with pinpoint passes. There's the key phrase, pinpoint passes. Now, I've set him up alongside the other two central midfielders. You can, of course, drop him further back if that's the way you want to set up. But for the sake of this video, he's going to be set there, and it's going to be Luka Modric. Coverage on the pitch, he's going to be in this sort of square here. That's where he's going to operate, both in defence and attack. Now, this is why it's a nice role as well, because it means you don't have to necessarily use a defensive midfielder, because he will naturally drop a bit further back. Further than your other two midfielders. You can see we've got two midfielders here, A and B, and he's sat in between them. As the opposition get the ball, he drops further back. And now, as I zoom out a little bit, he's just in front of your back four as the shield. So you don't necessarily have to use a destroyer type midfielder if you don't want to. So your DLP, your deep line playmaker, will always be the one who drops to show for the ball. Just like there, he showed for Nacho, but he didn't quite get it. Now Rudiger's going to see him. You can see how far ahead the other two midfielders are, and he's dropped into that gap. Rudiger will find him now. Now when he receives it, if he's an anchor man or a defensive midfielder, less expressive type of player, he'll probably play a safer ball. But remember what the description said, pinpoint passes, initiating attacks, and that's exactly what he does. Time and time again, you'll see him pick the ball up in these sort of positions, immediately spin and play a forward-thinking pass. The role is a ball magnet. All your team going to look for that player, which is why most of the time he'll have the most passes. His percentage will be really high, and you will have a few key passes involved in it from deep. But yeah, when using it, keep an eye on him and watch the amount of forward-thinking passes that he plays. Like I said, the heartbeat of the team, if you look up here at progressive passes, you can see far and away he leads that with 13. So 90% of his movements will be in that sort of area like we showed you. There's his average position for the match, with the ball and without the ball. All in that sort of area. Advanced playmaker. Now, he's different from the deep line playmaker because he's going to do exactly what it says on the tin. He's going to be more advanced. The game will tell you he operates between central midfield and attack. He can play out wide, but we're going to focus on him being central today. His key areas are going to be in and around here. This sort of zone here gets higher up than the deep line playmaker does and attempts more killer passes, if you like, rather than the progressive ones the deep line playmaker will make. So when defending, you can see he doesn't drop back anywhere near as much as deep line playmaker. Pause it there. He stays pretty much in line with his other central midfield partners rather than shielding the back four. So something to bear in mind if you're going to play this role. You might want a more defensive minded midfielder in there with him. Now when we're attacking, you can see him at the top of the screen there, and then look where he bursts to. Right into that pocket, in behind the strikers. When he's a deep line playmaker, he's back here asking for the ball. Pretty much like Valverde is. But the difference in the roles is huge because he's now wanting the ball in that area there, so he can pick out key passes. Now obviously being higher up means he's going to get more involved in attacking movements. Look, right in that pocket there, and he's got options where he wants to pass it. Lovely killer ball through to Vinicius. Now he's hanging around on the edge of the box. You won't see the deep line playmaker there much, occasionally, but not as much as this. But don't think he doesn't track back, and tracking back does sometimes help to some key movements. And you can see there where he is. He's quite high up, but he's still dropped back like the other midfielders. And he's in a position to receive from the centre-back and ping those passes in, which can lead to some swift counter-attacks. All the while backing up the attack. But being more advanced means he gets involved quite a lot in the attacking third, giving you options, when killer balls can be more frequent. You will find he won't be the heartbeat of the team like the deep line playmaker is, with the passes more evenly spread out. But if you're looking for a player role to unlock some defences a bit further up, that could be the one. Remember, all those movements and passes you just saw were all from that central midfield role as an advanced playmaker, not in the pocket. So you'll get less of the progressive passes. You can see 6 there, just 6. But when you're looking for key passes and clear-cut chances created, advanced playmaker is probably the way to go, that little bit further up. His average position as an advanced playmaker, so there's his overall average position, so well over the halfway line. With the ball, even further forward, and even without the ball, he's still well over that halfway line. So 2 playmaker roles, but pretty different ones. Think of the deep line playmaker as the one that initiates attacks from deep, getting movements going, and the advanced playmaker will look to create chances higher up with through balls and killer balls.